Uh-oh. I'll be right back. Hello everybody, welcome back. We last left off starting Ghost Ahoy, so now we need to continue it up to the point of heading to the bank. At the bank, we need to prepare to continue Ghost Ahoy as well as making history. Pull out your bowls of water, or just bowls, as well as your milk and nettles to make the tea for the crone. Your dyes for the quest. Remember, the quest is random, so the wiki recommends bringing 3 of each primary color so that you can combine them as necessary. Since I grabbed one of those purple dyes outside Ardoin so long ago, I'm going to bring that as well. You'll also need the silk, needle, and thread for the quest, as well as a spade, knife, and melee or mage runes to fight a level 32 foe, and some food to go along with that, and I choose to bring a 1-dose attack potion as well, because it'll be useful. On top of that, we'll want the strong sapphire amulet for making history as well. Notice that I have an axe and tinderbox in my inventory, and that's because I was under the impression that I had to use a fire to heat the nettle water. However, there's a range right next to the bank in Port Phasmatis that I could have used before leaving, so just use that. If you happen to only have bowls instead of bowls of water, remember that you can head north out of town and then west past the farm to use the water pump to fill them up. And then you could, well, what do we have here? Looks like someone's stopping by to crash our party. What a pleasant surprise. After a quick chat, we're going to be on our way to continue on with our quest. Anyway, after filling the bowls with water, you could then head back into town to use the range, or do what I do in a few minutes and chop a tree over by the crone when continuing the quest. But remember, I'm just doing that because I was simply misinformed and thought I needed to go find a log in Mauritania somewhere. Either way, it ended up working out. Alright, now we need to go west to talk to Joelak to continue making history, give the sapphire amulet to his wife to the northeast, then go back and talk to him again to get the scroll. Now we need to head north out of the town and then west along the coast all the way to the old crone. Remember, if you need the water, there's the water pump right there past the farm. Like I mentioned before, I was under the impression that I needed to use a fire for the nettle water, so I looked around Mauritania for a while and I thought I wouldn't be able to find any, but fortunately, if you go all the way west over by the fairy ring and farming patch outside of the swamp gate, there is in fact some trees by the water. So I cut some logs, lit a fire, made the nettle tea, and moved on to talk to the old crone. From there, we're going to continue the quest all the way up to the point where we come back to Port Phasmatis from Dragontooth Island. As a note, sailing to Dragontooth Island satisfies as a Mauritania medium diary task. That means pulling out at least 400 coins, all our ecto tokens, an oak longbow, and a bucket of slime. Continue and finish Ghost Ahoy, gaining 2400 prayer experience and the ecto file. After completing the quest, you can talk to Velarina again as many times as you want to get as many ecto files as you want. I chose to use the drop trick method, as it's a lot faster because when you have one in your inventory already and you ask her for another, there's additional dialogue you have to go through. So I just dropped them all, then picked them all up at the end. Then we need to bank one more time before leaving town. So pull out your enchanted key, a spade, the thin snail, which will go to the west and cook on the range to satisfy an easy diary task, which we didn't do earlier because we had a full inventory. Then either your choice of a necklace of passage, which can teleport us directly to the outpost to turn in making history, or Varrock teleport runes so that we can run to the spirit tree, teleport to the gnome stronghold, then run south to the outpost. After cooking the snail, we're going to minigame teleport to Castle Wars, run north to where the key tells us to go, dig up the chest, and then head to the outpost. Continue and finish the quest, gaining 1000 prayer and crafting experience as well as 750 gold coins. Later on we can use the enchanted key to go find some various cosmetic items, but they're not too useful. Now we're going to teleport to Varrock and get that last 1k XP lamp, which of course we'll use on Herblore. Now let's head south to the bank to pull out our strike runes and coins before heading south to the rune shop. I have about 1200 GP left and I'm going to spend it all on fire strike runes because we're about to kill Zamorak warriors and we will recoup that rune cost. I'm a little short on being able to buy the last rune pack, so I do thieve a man outside for 30 coins or so that I can have an appropriate amount. Then we need to head back to the bank to whip out our magic gear. Since I currently don't have any magic tops or bottoms, I'm just going to bring priest robes. Also, make sure you've got food, your Karabwanji, and any runes such as these body and earth runes that you don't want anymore, because the bank at the Orania altar where we'll be killing Zamorak warriors requires 20 runes as payment to access the bank, so I might as well get rid of some runes I don't want. So once again, minigame teleport to Castle Wars and run all the way north to the Orania altar. Once you go inside, head south and you should see a lava vent as well as a Zamorak warrior nearby. Safe spot the Zamorak warrior over the lava vent until you get a rune scimitar, which remember is 1 in 50 drop rate. Remember, there's also an 80% chance for these guys to drop 100 coins a kill, so that should easily help us recoup the money we spent on runes. If you happen to run out of runes before a rune scimitar drops, there's a couple options here. If you have enough coins from the Zamorak warriors themselves, then we can pull out a law rune from the bank, teleport to Varrock, and purchase more runes. If we don't have money to purchase runes so far, remember the West Ardoin general store I mentioned that buys items 37.5% more than a normal general store? Well, we're gonna go sell stuff to that. So along with any drops you got from Zamorak warriors, pull out any steel items, gold rings, anything that has a decent low alch value from your bank, and then take the RD cape to the monastery, run all the way to the West Ardoin general store, sell the stuff, hopping worlds if necessary, and then teleport to Varrock to purchase more runes before coming back. Yep, I died, and it's unfortunate because it was a very boring death. I was just looking at my second screen and didn't notice I'd exposed my character. Looking at the safe spot, you can attack the Zami warrior as it spawns without your character leaving the safe spot. However, before I clicked the Zami warrior that last time, it had moved a couple spaces, pulling my character out of the safe spot, and I had just assumed I was a-okay in the safe spot, so looking off to the side on my second monitor, I didn't even notice that I died until I saw the character death animation in the periphery of my vision. So, guess what? That's it, folks. I really appreciate you watching these videos so far. Maybe we'll give it another shot in the future, but just kidding. We're going right back there to get that rune scimitar. I'm not going to let this stop me. I largely only picked hardcore Ironman because it was an option. I've already done a few steps in the wilderness, so it's not like I was being super careful. And it's really not a big deal to me that my helmet is now gray instead of red. So back to the warriors we go. And just to mock me, the game decided to drop the rune scimitar 2 kills later, but that means we can move on and I can hopefully forget this horrific experience. After getting the rune scimitar, I banked to pull out all the items to sell to the West Ardy general store, head all the way over there to do that yet again, and then home teleport to Lumbridge so that I can get another free set of 30 strike runes. Of course, since I died, my cat ran away, so I have to go get a new one of those. And because I'm in the Varrock area, I decide to go to the rune shop to purchase around 700 more fire strikes. Now head to the bank again so we can prepare for some Zeah activities, starting with the Shazian area. Because we only have one teleport in our Kuret's memoirs, we need to use the Fisher's Flute teleport to Port Piscarilius and run all the way to the Shazian hospital tent. We're going to fill our inventory with med packs and then heal soldiers in the infirmary until 5% Shazian favor, which will take 50 bandages or about 2 inventories. Note that this also satisfies an easy diary task. Now that we've got 5% favor, we've unlocked the ability to kill lizardmen, which we're going to do all the way to 20% in order to do the Tales of the Righteous quest. What's great about killing lizardmen is we have a 1 in 250 chance of getting a Xerix talisman, which we can charge with lizardman fangs to teleport all around Zeah, and we'll get Xerician fabric, which is why I'm bringing thread and a needle. We can turn the fabric into mage robes, which are way better than the nothing we have now. So I'm going to start with mage, and once I get low on runes, I'm going to switch to melee. You will need anti-poisons as they do poison you, but one thing you can do is utilize the lizardmen attacking the Shazian guards, and if you do so, as long as they attack the guards first, they will not pull aggro onto you. So you can utilize that to take less damage and need less food and extend the trip as long as possible. Note that killing the first lizardman will satisfy a medium diary task, which we'll have to talk about later, as the medium diaries require subduing the Wintertodt at least once, and given my name, you could see why that might present some issues. But for now, eventually I get enough fabric to get my robe top and robe bottom, and at this point you could choose to skip the hat as it only gives +1 mage bonus over the blue wizard hat we have now, and during Tales of the Righteous, which we'll do in just a bit, we get 3 extra Xerician fabric, so you can make the hat after that. However, I decided to stay to get enough fabric for the hat, and I'm lucky I did, because 2 kills before the last fabric, I was blessed with a Xerix talisman and around 30 teleports, so now, when doing the other quests in Hosidius and whatnot, everything will be a lot quicker. Also, it was conveniently only 1 kill past 20% favor that got me the last fabric, so we're on track to get going and do Tales of the Righteous. So we need to head back to the bank and prepare for the first part of Tales of the Righteous, which requires runes to cast a spell. You might need a few because it is possible to splash, as well as a ranged weapon. Again, you might need a few ammunition, as it's possible to lose it. Go start Tales of the Righteous and continue it up until the point of going to the Archaeus Library. Whilst there, you could do the book finding activity, which is not only an easy diary task, but will also give you an XP book that rewards you 11 times your magic level or 4 times your rune crafting level as experience. As at this point that would only be crafting 6 water runes, I decided to use it on magic. Then continue on with the quest up until the point we need to bank back in Shazian to go to Mount Ketamortem. The last part of the quest requires killing a lizard man, so we need to pull out either our mage or magic gear, an anti-poison, food, a pickaxe, a rope, and it'll be helpful if you have a Xerix talisman, as we can teleport all the way back to Shazian instead of having to run back. Now we need to head all the way up to the top of Mount Ketamortem, and luckily at the top there is a mountain guy that we can talk to that will unlock fast travel from the top of Mount Ketamortem all the way to the Shazian wall, and we can take that on the way back if you don't have a Xerix talisman. Continue the quest and eventually kill the corrupt lizard man, which will drop the 3 Xerician fabric, and you can now make the hat if you have not done so yet. Continue on, and once you inspect the altar, you can actually world hop, and it'll pop you out of the instance up to the surface, speeding things up a bit. When you need to head back down the mountain, either use your Xerix talisman to teleport to Xerix Lookout, or take the mountain guide and then run the rest of the way. Now we're going to continue and finish Tales of the Righteous, gaining 1 quest point, 8,000 GP, another favor certificate that'll give us another 10%, as well as another memoir page that'll allow us to teleport to the Shazian area and will give us 8 teleport charges for our Karet's memoirs. Now we're going to bank everything except our Kara Bombji and at least 5k coins. And if you have a Xerix talisman, use the teleport to Xerix Glade and then go north to the farm shop. Otherwise, run all the way to Hosidius from Shazian and then go to the farm shop. At the farm shop, we're going to purchase 2 100 packs of compost, which will cost 4k GP, as well as a rake, seed dibber, watering can, trowel, and secateurs for Fairy Tale Part 1. Then we're going to go to the bank and pull out a hammer as well as our Kara Bombji before going south to plow the fields from 0 to 5% favor. Note that we'll rarely get 10 crafting experience from repairing them, as well as very rarely get 10 farming experience. I myself got a whopping 60 experience across 0 to 5% favor, so not that much. Then we're going to run to the saltpeter mines. Once there, talk to Konu and ask him for a spade, and then dig up at least 150 saltpeter, which is around 5.8 inventories. It should take anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes, and digging up the first one does satisfy an easy diet requirement. We're doing this because we can mix the compost we just bought with the saltpeter we're digging up to make sulfurous fertilizer, and with 150 sulfurous fertilizer, we'll get up to 20% Hosidius favor, allowing us to do the Depths of Despair quest. Not only that, making the 150 buckets of sulfurous fertilizer will give us 300 farming experience, bumping us up to around level 11 or so. Later on, after we start Fairy Tale Part 1, we can rake some patches, pour some compost, plant some seeds, and get up to level 13 so that we can plant jute seeds for the Kandaren Easy Diary. There, 150 sulfurous fertilizer. Now leave them all in the bank and pull out your Boots of Lightness and Xerix Talisman if you have one, and run all the way back to the saltpeter mines to talk to the clerk. Give her all your sulfurous fertilizer, gaining 15% Hosidius favor, and now we can Xerix Talisman teleport back to the Xerix Glade, and then start the Depths of Despair quest. If you don't have the talisman yet, run back to Hosidius to start the quest. And I think we're going to call it there for episode 9. I can't believe we're almost at 10 episodes. This feels like a great milestone for me. I just want to thank you again for watching this whole way through. It means a lot to me, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one, everybody.